Well, hello, and welcome. Welcome to Quilt Conversations Live. I'm Geraldine Wilkins, the Living Water Quilter. It's so good to be with you for another date night here on Quilt Conversations Live. Hello to Lori, to Donna, to Helen, who's in Georgia. Hello, Marcia. How are you? So good to be here. Hello, Cassie. Well, ladies, as you know, the first Friday of the month, 7 p.m., the Quilt Conversations live show is sponsored in part by Clover. Clover, who makes fantastic sewing, crafting, quilting tools, the tools that we love. Yes. So thank you to Clover. And one of the first things I want to share with you from Clover is one of the tools that I use. We are going to talk about ruler quilting, the ruler quilting challenge. I know you are anxious to hear about that. Before we do, let's take a look at this Clover tool. You've probably seen it before because I've shared it before here on Quilt Conversations Live. I'm going to go to my overhead camera, and it is the Clover Macaron. What is that? If you're new and you haven't seen this before, this is a tool that on one side it says Clover, on the opposite side it's magnetic. And when you are using a hand needle, this is the needle that I use to bury my threads. See if I can get it out. Okay, there we go. Um, it's magnetic. So the needle will stay on and won't fall off. So that's a good way to manage your needle so that it doesn't get on the floor while you're sewing. But on the inside, it's a sandwich, right? One side, this is not magnetic where it says Clover. This side is magnetic. It will hold your needle. But it also sharpens your needle. All you have to do is put the needle in and out. Pull it in and out, and it sharpens the needle. There's nothing like having a nice sharp needle when we are sewing. And this is the Clover Macaron. So if you haven't seen this before and you do hand sewing, whether it's hand quilting or mending or hand embroidery, you want a sharp needle. Try the Macaron. Okay, so ruler quilting. I know you ladies want to know about this ruler quilting challenge, right? The ruler quilting challenge slash bonanza. The month of September is actually a bonanza of opportunities to learn ruler quilting. And I am going to be in many places throughout September so that you can. Hello, Pamela. So glad you're here from New Orleans. Glad you're here to learn ruler quilting and to learn it with several types of rulers. So maybe you're a beginner. Maybe you are a advanced beginner. Maybe you are a little bit more than a beginner, but you kind of struggle with quilting different designs with the rulers you already have. I got you covered. I got you covered for all of that. So the first thing is, as you know, I am a Bernina ambassador, and I've had the opportunity to put together a ruler quilting challenge with their essentials ruler kit. It has 4 rulers, and I have taken a lot of time to put together just for you this ruler quilting challenge with those rulers. And it starts with a straight edge, which is perfect for a beginner. Hello, yes. Hi, Sharon. Yes, it's a fantastic tool, the Clover Macaron tool, Sharon. I love it. So let's go to this. This is the Essential Ruler Quilting Challenge, and you will have an opportunity when it goes live. This is a preview. It will go live next week, 1 week from today, on the We All Sew blog. And so you'll have an opportunity to watch my tutorial videos, to get the supply list, to get ready because it begins the following week. So the first week is an introduction, what you need, machine setup, supplies, how to get ready, and everything that is included in the challenge. That's going to be on the We All Sew blog. Now, if you're on YouTube, you can find the link to that in the description box below. So, what are some of the things that you're going to learn? The first, I thought we start off with a straight line because if you're new to ruler quilting, a straight line ruler is the best place to start. It's very versatile, and we start off with a very easy design, but also this is the foundation. This is the foundation for some of the techniques that I use, how to read the lines on the ruler. All of this will help you in the subsequent designs. So if you're new, if you don't do the whole challenge and you're new, I suggest you do week number 1 on a minimum. That way you get the foundation, your machine set up, you get the tools, you learn how to use a straight edge ruler. And if you want to warm up, I don't know if you ladies have picked up that over the past month, last couple of months, I have been talking to you about ruler quilting specifically. We went over tools for beginners. So if you're new here and you want to know about tools for beginners, I talk all about the different types of straight edge rulers. Go watch that on the replay on the Living Water Quilter YouTube channel. It's also available on Facebook. So just go through the videos on either side, Facebook or YouTube. Then I also talked about machine setup. I also had another show where we talked about designs for beginners. So there are at least 3 different videos for beginners before you even start the challenge that you can get ready with, okay? So with the 4 rulers, we have straight lines. So you're going to learn 3 different designs with that. And this is just a sneak peek. I'm going to share more details in a live Facebook on the Bernina Facebook page next week, the day that the introduction of the challenge begins on their blog. So, but we're also going to stitch out some curves. And with the curves, we're going to add a little bit more in terms of how to use the ruler lines, how to use different techniques, and get more out of your rulers. So you're going to have an amazing time if you are new to ruler quilting, if you are an advanced beginner. It's for almost every single level, whether you're on a home machine or a sit-down long arm. I do it with both. So the first week, straight edge, right? Straight edge. Let me show you with the overhead camera. So this is the first week. And this is the ruler from the Essential Ruler Kit. Now, you can use your straight edge, but I'm using this one in the video when I talk about the lines on this specific ruler. Now, if your ruler, straight edge ruler, doesn't have the same lines, you will still be able to follow, but you'll have to do a little bit of extra work if it doesn't have the exact same marks. Now I show you how to stitch this out using the lines on the ruler, and then how to multiply this to create a whole different design. If you've been following me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and other places here on YouTube, Facebook, I've been posting some teaser videos where you can see how this design, when we stitch it out in different directions, you get a different look. So that's one. And then the curve ruler, this is one of the designs that you'll stitch out. I call this shark teeth. And I show you how to do this using parts of the ruler. Hello, Karen. So glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're watching from Facebook. So this is one of the curve designs. So there is a ruler every single week. So 1 week we start with the straight edge, week 1, and you learn 3 different designs with the straight edge. And it will be on the blog, so you'll be able to watch and rewatch as often as you want. Hello, Patricia. Welcome. Then subsequent weeks, we go to circles and we go to the squiggle ruler. So there are 4 different rulers. You'll get 3 designs based on circles and 3 designs based on the squiggle. Let's go to this social media badge. You'll be able to download this badge to say that you are participating in this community quilting challenge, that you are taking it seriously. You're decided to finally get quilting with rulers. And you're going to let others know that you're participating, because when you do, you're going to encourage someone else that they should participate too. And then you'll have an opportunity to share your progress, which I want to see. I want to see your progress with the rulers. So, what is the essential kit? This is the essential kit that you can get from most Bernina dealers, ones that sell Bernina machines. You can go to your local quilt shop, go to the Bernina website, and you can find this essential kit. There's the straight edge ruler, the curve, the swiggle, and the circle. Now, of course, you could use a different curve ruler or a different circle ruler. Just know that if you use a different curve ruler, the results will be a little bit different. You just might end up creating a new design. Use the technique, but you may get a different result, which is perfectly fine. Again, you can use any size circle. The circle week uses a 2-inch circle, but you could use any circle template that is 2 inches. All right. Hello, Sherry. So nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Kimberly. So glad that you're here from Maryland. Welcome, welcome. And I'm not going to share all the details today. I'm going to reserve that for Facebook Live. So next week, Thursday, September 7th, 2 p.m. Central, but 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will have a conversation with Nancy. Nancy's going to ask me all kinds of questions about how I set up my machine and how I use both my Burnett 79, which is a home quilting machine, sewing and quilting machine, and how I use the sit down Q20, both machines. So that's going to be an extended conversation about the tools and about my machine setup, and I'll share more of the designs. I gave you a little sneak peek of some of the designs, but all together with 4 rulers, each with 3 different designs, you will learn. If you participate, you will learn and stitch out 3, 6, 9, 12 different designs in this challenge. So, how does that sound to you? Does this challenge sound like fun? Is it something that you will participate in? Let me know in the chat what questions you might have about the challenge. Now, of course, I'll ask more questions and answer more questions during the Facebook Live on Bernina's Facebook page next week. But I can also answer a few tonight. Will we be able to watch later? Yes. So if you can't make the live session on Facebook, on the Bernina's Facebook page, it will be available for replay. So you just go to their Facebook page, click on media, and look for the video. And you just look for the same image that I just showed you. All right. Sheila says she is in. Fantastic. Awesome. So when the blog goes live, which is on Thursday, you can go to the blog and you can download the social badge and you can start sharing that out to let others know that there's a ruler quilting challenge. Awesome. So, in the beginning, I said that the month of September is a bonanza, right, of ruler quilting. And it's true because next week starts the ruler quilting challenge, right? And you can do that over the next month, 2 months, because it's going to be up there. You can start and do it week by week, or you can stretch it out over how much time you need to do it. But of course, we would want you to do it with us. Okay, another question. How does it work with a Singer domestic machine? Now, that's when you want to go to the blog on the first day, the introduction day, where I talk about finding a ruler foot for your sewing machine. First, your sewing machine must be capable of free motion quilting. Then you have to look for a specific type of foot, which is called a ruler foot. You look for a ruler foot sold by your machine manufacturer. And if it does not have one, you have to find a company that makes them for any type of machine. And I'm going to share that on the blog. So make sure you go there on Thursday to get that information. Awesome. Yeah, Karen. Also, why don't you call them and find out if they have it and make sure that you can get the essential ruler kit, that they put it aside for you. You know, maybe they have to order it or they only have a few. I don't want you to miss out. Make sure you call in. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. So that's the essential ruler quilting challenge that starts with the introduction next week, live Facebook conversation on the Bernina Facebook page. But also, many of you know that I am teaching in person. Let me know in the chat, what way do you prefer to learn? Do you learn with demonstrations? Do you need to see a visual? Do you like videos? Do you like in person teaching? Do you like to take classes so that the teacher can give you specific instructions for your specific challenges? Or do you like online courses where you can watch the videos over and over again and then interact with the teacher? Do you like all of those methods? Do you prefer one over another? Let us know in the chat. So Phelan says that she likes in person. I like in person too. I recognize that we always can't meet in person, but that is my preference. As a teacher, I like to come over to you while you're stitching and you're having frustrations or challenges, or you're doing such a great job, you want to show and share how much you're learning. I want to be able to help you and encourage you in person. So Pamela says in person. Kimberly says all of the above. Okay. Yes, Rosemary. It doesn't matter what machine you have, as long as you have a ruler foot and the rulers, you can participate. Yes, your machine must be capable of free motion quilting and you need a ruler foot. Now, if you are new to ruler quilting and you're just joining, check my YouTube channel for Quilt Conversations Live. There's a playlist, and in that playlist, there is ruler quilting tools for beginners, where I talk specifically about what a ruler foot is. I talk specifically about straight edge rulers like this one. I talk about many tools for beginners. Go check that out. So Sharon says, While she prefers in-person instruction, she likes videos if they are clear and concise. Wonderful. Yes, of course. Now, I asked that question because this ruler quilting bonanza for the month of September includes all of the above. So we have a challenge that's based on video instruction and partly my participation when you go to the blog and you comment and I respond to your comments. And then I also have online courses where you can take the course, watch the video over as many times as you need, submit assignments for me to look over. But I also teach in person. So this month I'm teaching in person in 2 places. So if you want to join me in person, you can do that at the AQS show in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And in Grand Rapids, I'm teaching several ruler quilting classes, and one is one of my favorite classes. It's called Diamond Facets. It's with this ruler. It's a ruler that looks kind of strange. It's not your typical ruler. It has several different shapes based on what I call parts of a diamond. That's why it's called Diamond Facets. Let's take a look at some of the things that you can make with it. You can make multiple edge to edge designs. You can make diamonds, of course. Okay, I see some comments coming up. All right. And I love to be able to stitch out those designs on small projects like a quilt panel. This panel became a pillow, which I love doing that, or it can be a small wall hanging that you put up in your sewing room. Oh, thanks for the reminder, Phelan. So neat of you to do that. Appreciate that. Now, let's go to the overhead camera. Here is this ruler that's in the Diamond Facets class. And here, one of the designs that you can make edge to edge so simply with this ruler. I teach you how to do this with very little marking on your quilt sandwich to stitch this out. And we use a combination of these different parts of the ruler to create this design. Isn't that gorgeous? These are each a little bit different, right? So, but I combine them to get a different look. That's why I love this, because you can combine these in different combinations to get a different look. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome. So here is another example of what you can do with this ruler. This is the same ruler to create this design. And you have very little marking to do this. And guess what? It's fantastic for both your long arm as well as your home machine. I like to teach so that those who don't have a long arm or a sit down long arm can still quilt on their home machine the patterns that I share. So this is also from the Diamond Facets class. And then there is a clamshell class. Let me go back first to, it's called Clam Bake. Clam Bake. And it's a banquet of, I call it that because it's a banquet of designs. And I show you how to use the clamshell ruler to get border designs, how to get designs for a block, flowers, things like that, how to stitch out edge to edge designs to fill out, say, a placemat or table runner, and even a full quilt. And then, of course, there's always a panel. So this is an in-person class where I get to watch you learn the techniques, practice the techniques, help you figure out the different challenges you're having so that you can be successful in person. I love in-person classes. And part of the class, when you use the panel, you go from practice to actual designing, how to take the practice from your practice sandwich and put it in something that resembles a real quilt, right? So there's an optional panel that you can purchase so that you can practice the different designs that you learn. Will it work with a brother? Ladies, let me tell you that ruler quilting works with any machine that is capable of free motion quilting and has a ruler foot. Those are the only two things that you need. Capable of free motion quilting. Check your manual for your machine. Can it do free motion quilting? Can it drop the feed dogs? Then, two, can you attach a ruler foot? If you can do those two things, you can do ruler quilting. Okay? Let me share with you more on the clamshell, which is a fabulous ruler. This is another in-person class at AQS Grand Rapids. You'll learn fun designs like this one. I'll show you the back because sometimes the back, you can see it a little bit better. A darker fabric always looks better on camera. So this is the clamshell ruler to make this edge-to-edge design. And again, on any machine capable of free motion quilting and ruler quilting. So if you have already started, but you're struggling with how to put the designs on your quilt, how to get them consistent, I show you how to do that. How to stitch it evenly, one right after the other. That's one reason why I love an in-person class. Now, the other thing that I love to do in these classes is to teach only one ruler. When I teach in-person classes, the class is dedicated to one ruler. So I can show you the different things that you can do with that one ruler. So here's another example. This is also the clamshell ruler. The same ruler. The same ruler that made this one. Same ruler. Right? Same ruler. This one, this one, this one. I think this is fantastic. And it's not hard to do once you learn the technique. So that's another reason why I love in-person classes, so that I can help you concentrate on one ruler and how to get the maximum out of that. Okay, let's see. So that is the clamshell. Let's go to another place. Before I do that, I want to share with you the second place, in-person place that I will be teaching, and that will be in Minnesota. Yes, at Sew With Me Quilt Shop. They are also a Bernina dealer, and they're putting on an event. It's a week-long event. It's ruler quilting and free motion quilting. And two Bernina ambassadors, myself and Lori Kennedy, who will teach free motion quilting, and I will teach ruler quilting. So I'm teaching 3 classes. One is the power lines, which is that beginner class. Again, one ruler. We concentrate on one ruler, and that is a gentle curve on one side and a straight edge on the other. And again, I show you how to use the lines on the ruler, and ladies are going to stitch out several designs that are straight edge designs, and curved designs. So for the month of September, that's why I'm calling it a bonanza because I'll be teaching ruler quilting all month with the blog. We also ruler quilting challenge and in person. The other ruler at we also no at so with me in Minnesota in person is one of my favorites, and it's the snowflake template. We are going to stitch out what I call dot to dot designs. Another fun ruler. If you've been here before on Quilt Conversations Live, I have talked about this ruler. I've showed other quilts. So we have some questions here. Yes, Karen. Yes, that's consistency. That's a really good point. How to start the design, how to finish the design. Yes, how to keep them straight and uniform. I give all kinds of tips on that. And whether it's the We Also Ruler Quilting, Essential Ruler Quilting Challenge that's starting next week, or the 2 in person events, I teach that consistency, how to mark, how to use the seams so that it's a consistent look. Yes, exactly. And what else? Okay, some more of those designs. This is the clamshell design. So I will be teaching 3 different classes at Sew With Me in Minnesota at the end of this month. Clamshell, the snowflake template, and which is the dot to dot class, and the power line. So this is the clamshell, dot to dot with the snowflake template. And then we're going to do the power lines, which is the beginner class, learning all the basics with ruler quilting. So, ladies, this is a month filled with ruler quilting opportunities so that you can start ruler quilting and increase your skills with ruler quilting. There's so many ways that I have put together ways for you to go in person with me, to do a ruler quilting challenge through the Bernina blog, and then my own website, and of course the AQS show. All right. So, any questions about the ruler quilting opportunities? The one on my website is the Lydia tote bag. This is another beginner friendly ruler quilting opportunity. This is one where you use a straight edge ruler, and I show you how to use a straight edge to read the lines in the ruler, how to use the piecing in the project to create beautiful echo designs like you see here. Another opportunity. Now, someone had said, "Oh, I don't want to make a tote bag." This is really not about making the tote bag. This is about learning the techniques. These are some of the students who have taken this before and their fabulous results. Do you see the front of the bag has the beautiful echo shape of that diamond? And then on the back of her tote, this is also included in the class. I show you how to take a whole cloth and to simply, very simple outline how to make a concentric hexagon. Easy. When I say it's easy, once I show you the technique, you're going to say, "Oh, wow, that is easy." The benefit of this online course is that you have unlimited access. You can submit photos to me, you can ask questions, and I'm there to answer your questions. And it's unlimited access, which is different from an in-person. An in-person class, 3 to 6 hours. You have a limited amount of time for me. But again, there's benefits to each one, right? This is what the concentric design looks like that I show you how to stitch. Now, of course, you don't have to stitch the back of the tote with this, but it's good practice. That's why I included it in the course, because it's good practice on how to use the lines and the ruler and get comfortable using your machine. The more comfortable we get with stitching out our designs with our machine, with the ruler, the more we build our confidence, the more comfortable we become. So I know a lot of you have heard me say practice, 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 right? Practice, practice, practice. Practice is so important. It does a number of things. It helps you to learn how to use the tool that you are learning, right? The practicing helps you to learn how to use that tool, whether it's a ruler, uh, foot, or an acrylic ruler of any kind. Practice also helps you to get comfortable with your machine, how it works when you put it in free motion settings, how it works when you put it in walking foot settings, etc. But it also builds your confidence so that when you sit in front of the machine and you set it up for the task, you know it's going to work and you will get the results that you want. So that is incremental and only can happen as we practice, right? And so the Essential Ruler Quilting Challenge that starts next week is an opportunity to not only learn how to set up your machine, how to stitch out designs, but it's an opportunity to increase your confidence with quilting, with ruler quilting, with learning how to use the different parts of an acrylic ruler and how to get consistent results. So there are several things that we are always learning in our quilting journey. Some of them are simultaneous. Hey, Elizabeth, you're right on time. No worries. So glad that you made it. And, Karen had said earlier that she needed consistency, and we all do. So these are all opportunities in this month of September to help you build that momentum of consistency. So some may be taking the in-person class, and I can't wait to meet you. I recommend that you also join the challenge because that will help you build your consistency so that when you come to the in-person class, you have already started to build your confidence with ruler quilting so that when you learn the new designs and other things, you're not concentrating on one aspect. Now you're concentrating on another in class. And that gives me an opportunity to help you wherever you are in your journey with ruler quilting. Hey, Wilda, welcome from Williamsburg. Yes, so glad that you're here. So that is my desire, no matter where you are on your journey with quilting, is to help you, ruler quilting and free motion quilting, to help you move to the next spot. But part of that is your willingness to practice and to use the opportunities available to you, whether it's we also blog, the Essential Ruler Quilting Challenge that starts next week, or the in-person events at AQS, where I'm teaching several ruler classes, and at Sew With Me in Minnesota, also 3 ruler quilting classes. I know we can't all travel. That's why we have the online courses. And then, of course, here, the YouTube channel, where you can see some of the different conversations we've had here on Quilt Conversations Live about setting up your machine, about tools for beginners. So if you're just joining and you want to learn about those things, go back and watch the replay. There is a full hour where I talk about tools for beginners for ruler quilting. And I specifically talk about straight edge rulers. I show you several rulers and why one works for one thing and one works for another. why you might want to have multiple straight edge rulers as opposed to one. And of course, this is going to be based on your specific um, preference, what you like to quilt. Oh, fantastic. I'm so glad. I am so glad that you're hooked. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I have one more thing to share with you. Hey, Simply Spoiled, right on time. So glad that you're here. There's also another class that's being taught at AQS. It's not a ruler class, so I don't want to not mention it. It's a free motion quilting class. Now, how long has Quilt Conversations Live been going on? Is this year number 3, right? Year number 3 or number 2? I always forget, ladies. Date night started on Fridays in 2021, right? 2021. And most of the focus, I've talked about a lot of free motion quilting. This is the first time that I specifically have spent several months, way back in June. I think I started talking about ruler quilting, and I've done it June, July, August, and now September. And free motion quilting is kind of the entryway to ruler quilting. Hello, hello, Elizabeth. So glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome. Now, if ruler quilting is not your thing, but you like free motion, or you also want to learn free motion quilting, again, there are other opportunities for you to do that in person and online. If you do both, of course, you're going to have more design options in your projects, right? Like this is an example. This is from the Lydia Tote class. It's a ruler quilting online course, but I also show you an option to include free motion quilting. Let me bring it down. Okay, I'm going to go to the overhead camera. Okay, so let me show you the front first. Oh, that lighting is really strong. Let me do that. Okay, I think that's better here. There we go. More shading. All right. So here are the straight lines that you're going to learn how to stitch using the seam allowance, how to place the ruler. Okay. That's the basics. That's the beginning of learning how to use the straight edge so that you don't have to consistently mark. When I was a beginning quilter, I spent a week, a day marking my quilts only for the marks to disappear. It's frustration. I said there has to be a better way. And then when ruler quilting came, I was like, woohoo, fantastic. So with ruler quilting, I show you how to make this kind of design without marking at all. This is one piece of fabric and I didn't mark anything. I just used the lines in the ruler to get this texture. Okay, so once you learn that technique, then you can say, well, I want to add some free motion quilting. So I'm going to stop my ruler quilting and leave some room, some space for free motion quilting. So, Kimberly, link to the videos on the beginner tools on YouTube, which you're on YouTube. Go to the description box below the video. I put links to those videos, or just go to the Living Water Quilter YouTube channel, look up Quilt Conversations Live, and you will see ruler quilting tools for beginners. Okay. Now, for those who want to do something different with the back, the first thing I showed you, remember, was the concentric hexagon. But notice how I still have the same shape That's from the front, same zigzag shape, but I did not continue to stitch that. I stopped and left some space free for me to put in free motion quilting. And the free motion quilting can be anything you want. I just happened to say, well, I'm going to put some feathers in here because I was practicing feathers. But it can be anything you want. It could be embroidery. It doesn't have to be free motion quilting. So what happens is that you go from learning the basics of how to use a straight edge ruler to quilt, then you become a designer because now you're creating frames. This is a ruler quilted frame for free motion quilting. So you start to use the ruler quilting to help you accent the free motion quilting. Hopefully that makes sense. That's the whole idea with the ruler tote online class. Does that make sense, ladies? It's this multiple stages of learning how to go from practice to quilt, from practice to how do I use the tools and techniques that I've learned. I've taken classes. How do I take those classes, whether they're online, a ruler quilting challenge, and how do I incorporate that in my quilt projects? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay, great. Pamela says, yes, it makes sense. So when you think about the Lydia Tote class, think about how I am guiding you through the process of learning how to use a straight edge ruler. Then I'm guiding you on how to use the seams in your quilt project. It happens to be a tote, but it can be a quilt so that you don't have to mark. Then I show you how to create an independent design, right? An independent design. Let's go back. Of concentric echoed quilting, right? So in the center, instead of putting free motion quilting, this is where you get to decide. I put in more echoes that create the hexagon shape. But I could as easily have left that center part free and put in free motion quilting. Okay? So think about where you are on your free motion ruler quilting journey. And if you're just starting with free motion quilting, or you are doing free motion quilting, but you're kind of stuck. You've practiced and you practice. Join me for Splendid Spirals and Swirls. That's the class, the in-person class at the Michigan show, Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's happening this month. And we stitch a lot of free motion quilting spirals and swirls. Then I show you how to put that design, the one that's your favorite, that you love, how to put that in a star quilt. And here's one lady who did that. She took the Radiant Star quilt from the class and she stitched in each of those strips a different spiral design. So she took the designs in the class and said, I'm going to practice them, but I'm going to do it a strip at a time. And that's what she did. It's a fun class, but also the class is about moving from that practice into, because we want to finish our quilts, right? That's the main goal. We want to finish our quilts, and I want to help you do that. And so part of the class is showing you how to take the same star design and break it out with both free motion and ruler quilting. So you saw with the tote bag, the progression, all ruler quilting, right? Here in the star, the first thing is all free motion. Now, how do we introduce ruler quilting? How do we combine ruler quilting to create a frame for free motion quilting? So here, the same radiant star pattern, just different fabric. Now it's free motion quilting and ruler quilting added together. So I hope this helps you understand there's this journey of learning different techniques and then combining them to get different results. And the only way this is going to happen, ladies, is if we practice, if we take advantage of those opportunities. Now, let me share with you some of the designs that you will learn in the Splendid Swirls and Spirals class. Do you want to see those? Let me know. Do you want to see those designs? I have a few of them here, not all, but some. Okay. Phelan says my head is spinning. Okay. Am I going too fast, ladies? Is there something that I need to say again? I wondered if I was sharing too much information. It is a bonanza of opportunities this month because we are in different places. Okay, let me have again in the chat where you are. Just put the name of your state. Georgia, I think there's Delaware, there's California. Where are you? Where are you? So that's why I wanted to share at this live that I am teaching in multiple places so that you and I can connect, so that we can connect in those places. If I can't connect with you physically at a quilt show, at a guild, at a quilt shop, we can connect online. So we have Virginia, California, Louisiana, Missouri. Yes, lots of places. I want to connect with you. And the ways that I'm doing that, think about all of the effort and work that has gone into putting together a 4 week, 4 weeks ruler quilting challenge. 5 different classes at the American Quilter Society Quilt Show. 3 ruler classes in Minnesota, right? Okay. New Jersey. Fantastic. hmm Awesome, Kimberly. I'm so glad that you have rulers. Yes. Awesome. Nebraska is here. Maryland is here. Wonderful. Awesome. California. Did I get everyone? Delaware. Lots of opportunities. So, ladies, as a teacher, I'm doing my part. I want you to do your part because I want you to finish your quilts. I want you to get better. I want you to enjoy. Because at the learning stage, there can be challenges and struggles, and I get that. But I want you to move past that into the part where you are having fun and enjoying quilting your projects. Okay, so I promised I would share the designs. Here they are. So here is one of the spirals. And so I share different techniques on how to make designs with spirals. So this one, we change the scale. We go from small to bigger spirals, and then they're spaced further apart. See how tight these spirals are? But also look at the placement of the spirals, how they go on this diagonal pattern, right? Same thing again. This is now a vertical pattern compared to a diagonal pattern. So I teach you about those techniques. Then we have this one, which is one of my favorites, how to make this spiral flower. This is a spiral, continuous, vertical pattern, but it's a flower, a spiral with some leaves. And I show you how to do that continuously. Isn't that fun? I love that. And this is at the AQS. Then look at this texture. These spirals are all close together. They're random in size, random in placement, not as uniform as this one. This is uniform, right? Like little soldiers. This one, random. This is one of my favorites, right? Oh, I forgot Illinois. Thank you for letting me know. I forgot Illinois. Marsha says, let's hear it for Virginia. There are a lot of Virginians here tonight. Oh, and South Carolina. Did I miss South Carolina? Oh, Kathy, so glad that you're here. South Carolina. Awesome. And then this is another opportunity to take a design, a spiral with a little hook on it, and add a second element. So I show you how to combine by adding some echoed triangles to fill. And I've used this design over and over again inside a quilt, a big quilt. I didn't stitch it this close together. I spaced it out so that it wasn't as dense as this. When I'm practicing on a fat quarter or half of a fat quarter, I quilted densely, like this is dense quilting, so that I can build my skill. That repetition helps me so that when I go to the quilt and I space out the quilting, I have repeated this process so many times in the dense quilting that when I want to space it out, it's not hard to do. So here's another example. All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour. I can't believe the hour has gone by so quickly, ladies. So I hope that this wasn't too much information, but just enough for you to figure out which of the opportunities for ruler quilting are going to help you go to the next step. Will you join the Essential Ruler Quilting Challenge? It starts next week. Join me on the Bernina Facebook page. It's 3 p.m. Let me go back to that. If you're just joining, it's September 7th, 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Bernina Facebook page where I give all the details about the Essential Ruler Quilting Challenge. The challenge goes for 5 weeks. It will be on their blog, so you'll have access to it. Even if you can't join it right away, you can join whenever you can get to it, okay? So don't worry about that. But join me on the live session. I would appreciate your support at that live session. It'd be nice to see some familiar names coming up in the chat, okay? So that's next week. And then the in-person events in Michigan. Matter of fact, a lady on Instagram told me this week that she and a girlfriend are going to drive 8 hours to take the in-person clamshell class with me. They're going on a road trip to Michigan. Yes, Grand Rapids. So join me. Several ruler quilting classes and one free motion quilting class. Then, if you are close to Sew With Me in Minnesota, join me there. It's a week-long focus on quilting your own stuff. Me and another Bernina ambassador, we are going to talk about ruler quilting for me and free motion quilting for her. All right, wonderful. Can't watch to wait from the beginning. Wonderful, awesome. All right. So Phelan says I had to do some research for my Juki. Blah blah blah. I purchased rulers. However, I did not purchase a straight ruler. What ruler will do? So if you're looking for a straight edge ruler and you're not going to pick up the essential ruler kit, check out my video here on YouTube. The one that is ruler quilting tools for beginners. That one I talk about several straight edge rulers, their functions, and why you would want one over another. Watch that video and then decide from there which ruler you want to get. That's what I recommend. All right. And lastly, I don't want to forget Clover, Clover Needlecraft. They are a sponsor of this show. I thank them for sponsoring Quilt Conversations Live. And the product for this show is the Macaron. Have you seen this before? If you were here late, you may have missed this in the beginning. This is a amazing device that helps keep your needles sharp. So it has two sides. This side is magnetic. It will hold your needle if you're doing handwork. And in the center, you push your needle inside and out, inside and out. And when you do that action, it sharpens your needle so that you can easily go through whatever it is you're sewing. I think this is a must have tool. And a link in the description box below here on YouTube, you can find how to get this macaron. This is what the box looks like. You can get your own to help keep your needles sharp. Okay. All right, ladies, thank you so much. I will see you in person or online. If you're not following me, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, every place where I am on social media. If you are not following or subscribing yet to this YouTube channel, do so. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give the thumbs up for today if you enjoyed this. When you do that, it helps YouTube to notify other ladies who would benefit from the information that you got today. Also on Facebook, follow me on Facebook, follow my page. I post all kinds of things. And lately, I've had two videos where I talk about different techniques that a lot of people are finding useful. So if you've missed that, go check that out. It's also on Instagram. All right. Thank you so much. And don't keep this a secret. Tell your friends. Tell your friends about Quilt Conversations Live, and we will meet here in 2 weeks, right? It's always the first and the third Friday of the month. First and third Friday. Awesome. You are welcome. Yes, mark your calendars. Stay safe, everyone. You are welcome, Kimberly. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you, Donna in Arizona. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. All right, ladies. See you next time for another Quilt Conversations Live.